All right, so what else has affected, which other assets have been affected by the financial crisis? If you're thinking of buying a new home with a nice chimney for Santa to come down this holiday season, take a look at this. Sales of new homes tumbling 8.9% in the month of October, dropping to a near 3-year low. But while home values might be rising, according to the September S&P Case-Shiller Index, the gains have now shrunk to the lowest level since January of 2017 as rising mortgage rates cut into affordability. So are there any bright spots in real estate? And how are these companies surviving what appears to be a higher moving mortgage rate? Our next guest company is a family of regional home builders and was founded during the recession of actually not founded, but went public, right? Went public well into the recession. It was also the first housing company to do so during the financial crisis. We welcome CEO of Pointe Group, Doug Bauer, in a Fox Business exclusive. Yeah, you used to be a division of Weyerhaeuser, right, Doug?
We actually bought the Weyerhaeuser real estate company from Weyerhaeuser and really put us on the map, Liz.
Yeah, it really let you become big enough to go public. But I remember because you went public and you came directly on this show, and we thought that's a gutsy move. Compare what was happening then to what's happening now. We just saw new home sales. They look 3 years ugly, right? And then we also have rising mortgage rates, at least for the moment. How do the two compare?
Well, yeah, I mean, the report today is consistent with what we reported in our last quarter. I mean, the consumer is definitely taken a pause due to higher interest rates, and home prices have increased over the last 4 or 5 years since we went public. So it's a natural and very healthy phenomenon to be going on in the housing industry.
We got a phenomenon right now. The market's up 550 points for the Dow Jones Industrials. We are very close to session highs. I just want to let our viewers know earlier the Dow had been up 560, so we're about 10, 12 points away. Doug, much of that has to do with what happened just around the corner from us here at Fox Business at the Economic Club of New York, where Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, said, you know what, we're actually just below neutral rates, which indicated to the markets he'll soon be done hiking rates. You must love that. How did you respond to what Jerome Powell said?
No, that's excellent news because the consumer just wants some clarity on where interest rates are. The real narrative, Liz, on housing, I've gone through several cycles over 30 years, and I'll be honest, I've never seen our industry, our company, our peers, and the way TriPointe is positioned to meet that unmet demand of the millennials and aging baby boomers. So having that clarity around interest rates is definitely going to help the consumer make that buying decision, so to get off the fence. So that is welcome news as we look forward into the future. But the bottom line, home builders really haven't met the housing needs since the Great Recession, and it's due to a lot of supply constraints. Mm-hmm. And actually, as I look out long term for our company, I see a very bright future and a very clear picture of the demand picture, both in the millennials and active baby boomers going forward.
Well, why has your stock struggled so much every single year, even though we've been in a near 10-year expansion, if not 10 years, down 32% since you went public? And again, we're looking at not enough inventory. People are scrambling to buy these houses. And the 30-year fixed, while the last print I saw was 4.94% for a mortgage, is still historically unbelievably low, Doug.
Well, I think the death of the home builder by the investment community is very much overblown. And as I mentioned earlier, as you look at the long-term narrative for housing, the picture is very clear. There's a ton of demand, and having more clarity on interest rates and where they stand going into 2019 and beyond will only clear that picture up further for TriPointe and many of our peers in the industry.
All right. Well, let's talk about your best sellers. What are people demanding? What are they dying for that you're giving them at the moment?
Well, TriPointe Group is made up of 6 home building brands. We build about 30% entry level, 50% move up, and the balance active adult and luxury. To be honest, just recently down in San Diego, we opened up some new communities in what we call Pacific Highlands Ranch, and had instant success of over 40 sales over a couple weekend period. And those homes are selling for well over $1 million. So the death of the move-up buyer is greatly overblown. there's value in well-located real estate and great locations, and that's something that Tri Pointe Group really prides itself in being in well-located locations for the consumer to purchase a home.
Well, you could send a big gift-wrapped thank you to Jerome Powell. Earlier, your stock was flat on the session, and now it's moving higher by 1%. We're watching it all, and happy anniversary, 5 years for you guys at Tri Pointe. Thanks so much.